guys, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content, as we look ahead to our game at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday night as we face Chelsea just 3 days after our most recent game. And luckily this is the end of the Christmas period in terms of the league, because we don't have another league game after this for a week and a half due to FA Cup commitments. And the games don't really get much harder than this one. Chelsea away after back-to-back home defeats in the matter of 3 days. West Ham was a 2-1 defeat first on Thursday night, and then Southampton did lose 3-1 to the champions Manchester City on Sunday in what was a pretty comfortable win for the visitors. And it's a shame, because I think what we've seen now is what's happened as a result of the busy period. You know, especially with this high pressing football, the players are tired, and they've got every right to be. Some people are disappointed, mainly with the West Ham defeat. I don't think many people will be disappointed losing to Manchester City at home. I know they lost their previous 2 games, but they were always going to come back and bounce back at our place, which, you know, we can accept. To be honest, in my opinion, conceding 3 goals against the champions isn't actually that bad of a result. That's how good they can be, and how good we know they are. But just to take apart that game, I think, you know, there are not many positives to take from it. It was the rotation. I think what you can look at is that maybe we can put a few more first choice players in there. You know, Danny Ings didn't play at all. Redmond didn't start. Players like that. Unfortunately, Højbjerg will miss the game because of his red card against City, which is a real shame because he did so well to get his fantastic goal against them, and he will now miss the Chelsea game and may actually miss the 2 games after that as well. I think it may be a 3-game suspension. I will check that. But for now, what's important is that he will unfortunately miss Chelsea. And it's a shame because Lamine has not had a good week. You know, his last 2 performances have been shocking, in my opinion. I don't think he's been at it at all. And Romeu, you know, he's a decent replacement, in my opinion, but he just still hasn't looked like the player he was in 16-17, which is a real shame because he's definitely a fan favourite. But I think what we need to do now is just look away from those games. It's been a bad week. Okay, we'll accept that. It's meant that we've dropped down back to danger, where we're now only out of the relegation zone on goal difference, which is a shame, partly because the results with the teams nearer us and around us really haven't gone our way this week, but also, you know, we've started the week 3 points off relegation zone, and then after 2 games we're almost back where we started. But I am very confident Hasenhüttl can turn it around. You know, we've got plenty of winnable fixtures over the next 2 months. We'll be fine, in my opinion. But in the short term, it's not great. The fixtures are quite close together, and they're against big teams. And we knew that when we saw the fixture list back in, what was it, June, July time. You know, we knew this was going to be a really tricky period. And, you know, I think we've got to make the most of it. I think what we've got to do is just have a go. Because we're not expecting anything as fans. We weren't expecting a win or a point against City on Sunday. We're not going to expect anything from this game. I think what fans want to see is a performance. And I think what could be the possibility is, you know, Chelsea, I know they've rotated the squad and they've got a squad good enough to rotate heavily if they need to. They haven't actually rotated that much, to be fair. Some of their squad players may be a little bit fatigued, not only just because of the Christmas period, but for the whole previous bit of the season. You know, playing Thursday nights and Sundays with the Europa League, especially with the travel that some of these players have to do. I think they've gone far, far away, Chelsea have. So, you know, we may have a benefit of them being a little bit fatigued, and maybe we can capitalise that. You know, if we really implement a high press, you know, we can force them into mistakes and potentially get a result, if not just the good performance at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday night. But for me, I think when we look at this game, we've just got to, I don't know, I think the players, if they can just keep the fans on side, I think that's really important. You know, everyone's backing Hasenhüttl. It's more the players. There's a real uncertainty as who's been sort of gone out of favour with Hasenhüttl, who may be actually leaving in the transfer window, because it sounds like there could be a good few players actually leaving. The only way we can get players in is actually by using the funds we've received by selling players, which is a shame that the manager's not going to be back with funds. But in my opinion, we don't need too many players. I think it's just strengthening in 1 or 2 positions. We'll do another video on transfers. That's not important just now. But if we look at Chelsea themselves, they've been fantastic for me the majority of the season. Have had a few blips, losing to Wolves, that loss at Spurs, little performances that really been disappointing for them. But on the whole, I think Sarri's come in and done a really good job. I think they don't look set to win. They don't expect to finish top 4, but I think they will in the end. I think they'll probably finish 3rd or 4th. They do look good enough to do so. They've got the players, obviously we know that Hazard, Kante's looked okay. For me, I love him in the defensive role, and so it's a bit of a weird situation for me as an outsider. I mean, it's probably even more strange for the Chelsea fans watching him week in, week out in that sort of number 10 role almost. But looking at other players, Giroud generally gets a goal against us as well, so he could be a real threat on Wednesday night, especially because he hasn't played too much over this Christmas period. So we know what sort of threat they're going to provide us. We're going to have a good game to get something from it. But it is possible. I know Leicester are a better team, but they did get a win at Stamford Bridge. They kept a clean sheet as well. It is possible to get a result from this game, and I think we just have to go in with some sort of belief, have some confidence that we are good enough to get something from this game. Because if we play like we did against Arsenal and Huddersfield, I believe we can. I do believe we can get something from this game. Obviously, outsiders aren't going to give us a single chance, and that's okay. You know, it is what's going to happen. Even if this game wasn't 3 days after playing Manchester City, and you know, our third game in what will be 6 days, it's okay. But just to sort of wrap this up, I think what we need to do, I've said it before, just put a performance in, keep the fans on side. Okay, if we drop back into the relegation zone, that's okay. We've got plenty of games after this one to really put it to bed and to get ourselves well away from danger. We'll be fine, I'm sure of it. And if we're not, it's the player's fault, because it's not down to the manager, because he is exceptional. We need to keep him happy as well, because you know, if we don't, then he could be off in the summer as well, and that'd be the worst thing. After now we've actually found a manager that we enjoy watching, and sort of we respond to him. He wants to please us as fans with the football that his team plays, and you know, it's a feel-good factor around the club. It's a shame that we've had 2 bad results at home this week. Let's put it right with the performance at Chelsea. If the result doesn't come, okay, fair enough. But then what we just need to do is stick together as a fan base, I feel, because it's been very rocky this season. I know that was under Mark Hughes and everyone loves Harzan Özil, but just stick together, enjoy the football, support the team, and I'm sure that after this game, not looking too far ahead into the future, but you know, to be fair, after this Chelsea game, we do have some winnable fixtures. You know, we go up to Derby in the Cup. That could be, you know, everyone likes a cup run. That's a good possible fixture to win. Leicester away in the league after that, you know, it's a little bit difficult. Everton at home is a possibility if we create an atmosphere, put them under pressure. That could be a win. We've got Crystal Palace at home as well soon, and in February, like we've got some games. We've got Cardiff at home, so I think in the long term we'll be fine. In the short term, it doesn't look great, but that's just because of the fixtures that we're facing. But if you have enjoyed this video, guys, do remember to like, as you always do, and subscribe if you haven't yet already. We're getting close to 200 subscribers. It'd be nice to hit that. Thank you very much for the support you've given us over the last 2 months whilst we've been up and running. Have a very lovely new year, and we will see you on Wednesday night at Stamford Bridge. Thanks for watching.